I'm going to scoot you back so you're not like looking at my nose here.
So are you in your studio?
I am.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So did you just have a break from clients, or are you done for the day?
I'm done for the day.
Nice. Very
I
good.
know.
Is it super hot where you are? And beautiful and amazing?
Probably for other people, it's pretty chilly. It's like 79 today.
Oh my God.
I know. I feel so weird for saying that. I'm from Montana originally, and it's like there's like 2 feet of snow out there already. So
Yeah, you're like, this is fine. Yeah, it's actually, we're having a really nice fall in Ohio. So it's like 70s or like maybe 72, 75. So it's not bad at all. It's nice.
Oh, that's good.
I know. We don't have any rain or snow. Okay, so let's chat. First, I'll tell you kind of just like how these work. One of the reasons I wanted to do them with people is just so they could start to experience like what they're like. I know like a lot of people in the beauty industry, we don't do a lot of business strategy stuff. So the first times that I started doing it, I'm like, oh my God, this is a game changer. Like it helps me be more creative. And like I've thought of all kinds of things that I wouldn't have, thought about on my own. So, and like a lot of times, not even just me being like an expert, it's just someone's fresh set of eyes looking at your problems or the things you want to work on. And then all of a sudden you get all these ideas. So I'm hoping that we can come up with some stuff for you today. Yeah. So it can be as long or as short as you want. Depending on what we come up with, we might have some ideas or things for you to work on pretty fast, but like a half hour or so, whatever you have. So let me pull up your message real quick. You're still hearing me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I asked you ahead of time kind of what your pain points or things that you're thinking about. So this could have changed since the other day, but you mentioned having more cohesive branding, working on Instagram, which is like, I'm always working on Instagram. It's exhausting.
I know. It is.
Planning your content and then getting more clients and just kind of confidence and support, which is all good stuff, good, valid things to work on. So tell me a little bit about your business right now. Like, what do you do mostly? How often are you working? What all do you do?
Okay, so I'll give you just a minor quick backstory. I was at a pretty popular med spa in town, and things kind of went sour. I was there for a year, and blah blah blah. So I decided that I was going to reopen my own studio.
Yeah.
I did try this once a few years ago, but I felt like I just wasn't understanding definitely how to, like utilize social media and things like that to get clients in.
Right.
But I did learn a lot there. So I kind of feel like I have a little bit of a better understanding of things that, you need to do and keep up on, producing content, things like that. Yeah. But now I'm in my own little spot, and I do like the kitchen sink at the moment. I do offer a lot of things. I would usually like to kind of pare those things down, just so I'm not trying to boil the ocean per se.
Yeah.
So right now I do a limited amount of facials. I have very different services. So I do some facials. I do minor waxing, like brow wax,
facial
lip,
stuff.
I don't delve into body waxing. I don't like it. I also do plasma pen.
Okay.
As well as I am trained in like microblading, powder, things like that. So I do offer a lot of things. I just necessarily haven't pared it down because I don't know what type of services my clients are necessarily coming for specifically.
Right. So how long have you been in your current space?
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting! That's exciting. Yeah. So are you in like a suite, like your own room?
So my friend owns a very well-known nail salon, and she has a spot in the back, and it's my own little area. It does get a little loud, but I mean that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
She's been super awesome, letting me come in and helping out. So it's been nice. It's a good spot. I don't necessarily perform a ton of relaxing services, so I I don't foresee that being a problem.
Yes. Our studios are pretty open, so just by default, that's kind of how we've set them up, and it's not too bad. I don't think people, well, even we do facials, and there's people everywhere. So
Yeah.
I think it's okay for waxing, stuff like that. People aren't necessarily coming for the spa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to offer that type of environment
Yeah.
either. Like, if you want something fluffy, there are plenty of places to go for something fluffy. But if you want like results, then this is what we're doing.
Good. Well, that's good because it sounds like you already have a little bit of branding right there, kind of already knowing that you're a results oriented place, which is good. That's good. So it's been about 2 weeks that you've been in that space, or also 2 weeks since you've been on your own? Both. Okay, cool. Yeah. I thought so. I just wanted to double check. So what do you like doing the most out of all the things? Like, is it permanent makeup? Is it more the aesthetic stuff? What are you into?
I would like to do mainly like brows and plasma, but because I'm not only doing it just for the higher ticket, but I feel like those treatments make a huge difference for people. So
tell me a little bit about the plasma. So how does it work? How often are they coming? Tell me a little bit more about
that. So there's different Fitzpatrick types. It's really the skin tightening and rejuvenation is mainly only for Fitz 1 through 3, which kind of narrows some people out. Fitz 4 is iffy. You can do some patch testing, things like that. But somebody with a darker skin tone, African American, some Asian culture, they will hypopigment. So I got to stay away from those. Those ones, it's usually, depending on how deep like the lines and wrinkles are, folds, things like that, it can be a more than one-time treatment. But most people that come in and get like a lid done or like a lip flip, they love the results so much that they want to try something else.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's a little bit of service return on that. So
that's good. That's always good.
Yeah.
The one problem with a lot of permanent makeup is we like work on people and then we don't see them again for a year and a half, 2 years. And so you're constantly having to fill your book with new people, and that's hard. So plasma, and then tell me about the brows. Are you like really wanting to do permanent makeup? Do you really prefer waxing or both?
Both. Okay. I really like both. However, I do feel, number one, I feel like I've wasted thousands of dollars on these trainings that haven't taught me shit.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like I paid, $2,000 for shadowing, like 5 hours. And at the time it seemed like it would be a great idea. And now, hindsight, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I paid that much money to follow somebody around.
We've all done that.
And then, another $3,000 to take a class and not work on a model, which was not stated. And I'm like, how do you not work on a model?
Yeah. It's awful. Like what I hate about our industry is in the permanent makeup part of it is like people are supposed to spend a lot of money on classes. So they do. It's not that people aren't investing. You work hard and then you save your money or whatever, you come up with it and then you take a class, but it's not your fault. It's not the student's fault that the class is terrible. So then after class, you're like, what do I do? I'm not going to not work. So on a lot of these forums, you'll go on, like see people asking questions and like people are so mean to them and like, you should know this. Why don't you know this? Well, because I wasted thousands of dollars on a class. So what am I supposed to do now? So what people do, a lot of trainers, people who have experience in the industry, they just complain about it. And then like nobody does anything about it. And I think they're okay with it because they just rather all the new people not be in it anyway. So they can keep all the clients to themselves, which is just really dumb. And a lot of this
the money for the classes.
Yes. Yeah. Which at the end of the day, I keep telling people this, you don't need more, most of the time, you don't need more classes. You probably need more practice and you need more like support, and you probably need more business strategy because you will get better if you have clients. You just will. If you had 5 to 10 clients a week that you were constantly touching, you would get better by default. You'd figure it out. Right. So if we could figure out that part, and then maybe offer like a little bit of support, then you should be good. So how many people do you feel like you've done roughly with permanent makeup, microblading, powder brows?
Probably about 30.
Okay. And then how are you feeling as far as skill wise with that? I still feel
very novice.
Yeah.
I mean, the end product does end up looking nice, but I'm booking my clients out for like 3.5 hours because I want to make sure that I have enough time
Yeah.
and, enough just, I want to get it right.
Right.
So yeah, I still don't feel like I have the proper techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm kind of, trying to teach myself, and I'm watching all these, like, these webinars and online things and YouTube. And I know, the University of YouTube is not the greatest place to go, but it is a good
Yeah.
resource. So
Yeah. Especially once you've already
yeah.
taken your class and you're like, I got to do something about it. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So with what I've noticed with most people from a numbers perspective, whether they got good training or they're figuring it out on their own, usually like 1 to 10, at least the first 5 people you kind of want to throw up. And then one to 10, 5 to 10, you're kind of like, this is hard, but like, and I feel like I'm forgetting stuff and it takes me forever, but okay, I don't feel like I have to throw up anymore. And honestly, it's like 10 to 50 people before you see almost everything you're ever going to see. So the first time someone bleeds a lot, or the first time someone is in terrible pain, there's all these firsts that have to happen, and then you handle it. And then you figure out if you did it right or if you would do something differently for next time. So I feel like so many people get into industry and then they quit, or they don't, it takes them forever to get to that 50 number and they don't ever get comfortable. So I think even feeling how you feel at 30-ish, it's pretty normal. So I think you're doing fine. So don't worry and don't quit. I feel like that makes me sad too, that so many people invest so much time and money and energy and then they quit before they get to the part where it's not terrible anymore. So how are the people that are coming to you finding you?
Well, it's pretty new now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably friends, word of mouth.
Okay.
I haven't had a ton of money switching over into the new studio for marketing or advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I do have an event coming up that a friend invited me to for Small Business Saturday, so I'm going to be putting together kind of like a menu sampler for sale for around, for Christmas time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that will be helpful, but I mean, other than that, and the girls in the nail salon will send me over clients, and those are usually just quick brow waxes or something like that. But it gives me a chance to get them in and kind of
to start the conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at your Instagram now. So
oh God, it's terrible.
No, it's not. I was actually about to compliment you on like several things. So like a lot of people will have their business Instagram and then it doesn't have like their name. So it's amazing to go to people's Instagram and be like, well, who am I, who's going to be performing my services? And I can't even find the person's name. So your name's right here, what you do. So right away, I know what someone's offering me. So I think that's your bio looks really good. And then you've got your address and your link. I think you do a really good job taking your photos too. So that's a huge part. A lot of people, when I first start auditing their social media, I'm like, well, the first thing we have to do is figure out your pictures. But I actually think your pictures look great. I do have a question about the plasma pen. From what I have seen, I see a ton of pictures on social media of the before and the right after. And you can already tell where the tightening is taking place. But of course, it's distracting because there's these like dots all over them. How long does it take for the results to show up? Is that like a month, 6 weeks?
For full results, it takes about 10 to 12 weeks. Because you are disturbing that dermal level cellular matrix. So you have several layers of collagen that needs to come up before you're actually getting that final result.
I figured that had to have something to do with it because I see so many before and afters. And if I'm a customer and I know nothing, especially if I'm like not in the industry, I'm like, this is interesting, but it's kind of scary. So I think obviously with time, you'll want to have more healed results. So if they don't want another session, is it hard to get them to come in for photos? Or are you pretty much just getting healed photos at the next appointment?
I would probably say at the next appointment. If they come for like a facial or something. And this was all previous at the med spa. So those clients I'm probably not going to see. So I was thinking of doing like a model call. I don't know. I
have some ideas about that.
Necessarily do it for free, but I always hate asking models to pay a fee.
I
don't know. Maybe that's just my nature. I'm just like, I just want to give everything away.
I know. Well, I have some ideas on that. And I think doing models really helped me launch my business really fast. And every time we open a new location or we offer a new service or hire somebody new, we kind of follow this formula. So I'll talk about that with you. And I think you could do it with everything, but especially with the plasma thing, because I feel like that would really take off. Oh, let me pull your Instagram back up. If people could see it, better.
Yeah.
If they understood it more, for sure. And like you have the right after photos, which are, well, this one's like this is a week post. Even just this is from like in May, but this upper eyelid crow's feet picture you have, that's like a huge difference. Yeah. So more and more.
Let me pick your brain on this, because I was taking that content when I was at the med spa. Do you feel that it's appropriate for me to re-promote that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I see people, but this happens with like just regular microblading students took my class. They just started and maybe they have like 5 people a month. So what most people do is they'll take one before and after. They'll take 100 before and afters, but they'll post one. They'll find the best before and after, and that's all they share, period. And then if they don't have another person for a month, they don't post anything because they don't have anything else. I'm a big fan of repurposing content and or posting the same content in different ways, because it's not about fooling anyone. No one's going to be like, oh, that's the same person. How dare she try to share? It's just, hey, here's another angle. And then in this post, I'm going to talk about something else that can offer value to you. So if I'm educating you about it or I'm sharing things like that can help you in your life, no one's ever, mad about that. So I don't see any reason why you can't share. I've had people that work for me. Somebody recently went to start her own business, and she definitely uses content that she got while she worked with us. And I don't think there's, anybody who has a problem with that is probably just being petty, and no customer is going to think that's weird. It was still your work.
Yeah. I don't want to, I foresee it becoming an issue with the girls at the med spa. Like that's our content, take it down. But technically.
Did you take the pictures?
I did.
It's your content. They might have been their clients at the time, or maybe it was their services. I mean, you're not taking the money away. They still got paid, but the pictures that you took are yours and the work was done by you. So unless you had something like some kind of contract where they said you're not allowed to use the photos that you take with your camera of the work you did, then, it might be uncomfortable for you. And so I could certainly understand not doing it if it makes you feel better. But from, a business perspective and a growth perspective, I think sometimes we have to get out of our own way, and it's a woman thing. I hate to say that and be, hard on women, but we do that. We think about everything when a man wouldn't even think twice. He would just, I don't care. He just share it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Okay.
I would do that with everything, but especially with the plasma stuff. And it's not like you're kind of stealing their clients and hunting them back down. I mean, you're just sharing what you did. So that's the first thing. I would share more of that. Yeah, because I noticed that one was like from back in May. Those are things that you can reshare and talk about more,
Okay.
So there's that. But I did have, let me pull up my notes here. My first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was doing models. So I know your goal, you mentioned, what did we talk about? At least like $1,500 a week. So we'll talk about passive income. I don't want to forget about that. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I'm good with that.
That's about right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So for me, what I think most people need to do, whether they're first starting or if they're like you and you're relaunching, you need some fresh content. Mm-hmm. So when I deal with someone relaunching or I'm telling you about a new business, the first thing I have people do is they work on a model, my formula, basically. This works for like anybody, probably work for anybody, any industry, but in the beauty industry perspective. So you could do this for your plasma pen, your brows, you could do it for waxing, but in particular for permanent makeup and the plasma pen, it's something that people don't know a lot about. So what I would have you do is I would have you pick a select group of models. So you have some experience, so maybe you could do less, but I normally tell new people or someone who's like taken a class and never done anyone, you need 10. So you're looking for 10 individuals. I'll call them models. You can call them whatever you want. So that's the first thing is you want to try to find 10. For you, maybe you do 5 because you have content already. So that's fine. Somewhere between 5 and 10 people. And then you're going to try to set these people up close together because, when you take forever to get it, you'll see it's not going to take a lot of financial investment, but it's a lot of time for you to do this. Yeah. So I found that it's better to rip the Band-Aid off and try to, lump these people in quickly and then get it done. So that's the other thing. I don't want you to drag this whole formula out for 6 months. So hopefully maybe in the next month you can knock this out. So You're going to get 5 to 10 people. Let's just say 5 for now. You can add to it if you want. You're going to pick them wisely. So these people, you're going to ask them to do some things for you, and then you're going to want them, hopefully it's a chance for referrals and word of mouth. So if you can pick people who, might get you more clients from their word of mouth or referrals, or also people who show really big transformations, or people who are just drop dead gorgeous. So the thing that I always talk about that makes some permanent makeup artists uncomfortable is that we're selling something. So as much as I'm an artist, I'm also a business person and I need to make money. I like making art, but I can't do it if I don't make any money. So clients, a lot of times they don't see the before and after. They see something else in the picture. So the girl's gorgeous. I can't tell you how many times I'll post a picture and we get a lot of bookings off of something that really has nothing to do with them. The girl doesn't look anything like them, but something about her eyes or that transformation captivated them. So the bright photos, the stuff that you're doing, you're going to keep doing that, but you're going to try to find 5 people that really help you with that. Okay. Or for especially the plasma pin, somebody that would make for an amazing transformation that's going to do what you ask. So if you know someone, that's great. If you have some kind of tie to somebody, I have found that the people who sign up for my model calls, this kind of formula, they do I've never really had anyone just disappear and not do what I asked. So that's the risk you take when you do it for cheap or next to nothing. So that's my next recommendation, 5 people, and then you're going to do them for cost or something low. Because the point is you want to be able to have your pick of these people. You don't want to be grasping and taking whoever calls because you were asking for too much. And I also feel for brows in particular, it's taken you so long because you're really wanting to do it right. I don't want you to have pressure of being well, I asked them for $300, so they're already paying me enough, even if it's discounted from what you want. So I would do these for as little as you could do. And then we're going to ask them to do some stuff. So I find if you don't charge them, I think that's what you were touching on earlier. If they're a model, you can ask them to do things. But when people pay, you kind of feel bad asking them to leave me a review and go do this and come in for pictures. So these 5 to 10 people, you're going to have to perform some service on them. What would you say for the plasma pin is the most impactful? Is there one particular service or something that you're this makes a huge difference?
They're all great, but I feel out here, the market, these girls want lip flips. They want more lip flips on the lip to get more color. So that's a pretty easy one to do. I have an amazing photo that I haven't posted yet because I took the content at the med spa and I didn't know.
You're going to post that ASAP.
It's cool.
And I guess it would, maybe they know because maybe they know their clientele or maybe there's something in the background of this picture, but how do they know that you got that content while you were there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or who cares? We don't care. You don't care anymore. We don't care. So, let's say we're going to do 5 people. They're going to come in. You're going to charge them next to nothing or cost. I don't know what your cost is, but let's just say your cost is $50, $75. Just charge them that or maybe a little bit more to cover your time. But that's where I said cost-wise, this isn't going to cost you a lot of money to do, but it'll be way more impactful for your business than buying a bunch of Google ads. So these people will come in. You're going to perform your service on them. Maybe it'll vary by the person. Maybe it's just browse and you pick people that you think would make for great transformations. And then you're going to try to get 5 pieces of content per person. So for the purposes of the formula, the content is a before and after photo, before and after video, some kind of image or video that you can share on social media and or a website that you can show people what you do. So if I had someone coming in for a lip flip, for example, maybe one day I post just their full face healed after photo. Maybe the next time I use that person, my content is a split screen before and after. You do plenty of those. Then maybe the next time it's a video. Maybe the next time it's a right after compared to a healed. You can take the same person and make tons of content out of the same person.
Okay.
So with the plasma pen, where this comes in is, and brows, you need healed results. So it's going to take you, the plasma pen has a longer tail. The brows, not so much, right? Because you can show them off pretty fast. But the reason we want to start this ASAP is so that you can kind of collect these people. I think you will have a huge difference when you can show people the final results, or at least the improvement. To me, I don't know much about it. That's very influential to me. So I know the average woman would be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. So we're going to get 5 pieces of content per person, and then we're going to ask them each for detailed reviews. So this is where you're going to ask them to write like the best review they ever wrote in their life, like a whole paragraph just raving about you. Obviously, they'll be honest reviews, but it's like, hey, they'll make sure that they take the time. Reviews are so hard to come by. You can do an amazing job on someone, they can love you and send everyone and not leave you a review because they're busy. So if you could get 5 to 10 amazing reviews to share with people, that'd be really influential. So do you have a review site anywhere like Facebook or Google, or how do you collect reviews right now?
I have my Facebook site. I just kind of link everything through Instagram. I'm not too active on there. I find that I get more engagement on Instagram. But I book through Vagaro.
Okay.
And there's a review site on there. I did Yelp for a while. I don't like Yelp. I don't want anything to do with Yelp.
Yeah, I hate Yelp. I feel like Yelp is built for you to buy their ads, and like when you don't, I swear they push you to the bottom. Like it's the weirdest.
They have a good one. Yeah, that's been crazy. So my main booking site has reviews. I don't know anything about Google reviews though.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you that you should totally make a Google review page. So Facebook's fine. Even if you don't use it right now, these are just models. So they already know you. They already got the service done. You could always have them leave them there for now. And then if you become more active on Facebook, they'll already be there. Facebook reviews are nice because they're public. It's got a person's name attached to it. And reviews are all about trust. You need people to trust you. So if they can see an independent review from someone that they can like check and see if it's like your mom. There are people out there who will like really like research. But the reason I like Google is because Google reviews can help you show up to people who don't know who you are. So Facebook usually requires that they were looking for you or someone tagged you or something. But Google is like Plasma Pen Las Vegas, and boom, Google pages come up for businesses that do that or have that information listed in their profile. It's also super free. So it doesn't cost you a thing and extremely easy. So what I would have you do this week, we'll finish talking about the model call. I didn't mean to get off track, but for that, you can just type in Google, go to Google and type in Google My Business. So then it'll pop up their page for that. And then do you have a Gmail account already?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll log in with your Gmail. It takes 5 minutes, maybe not even that long. It's so simple. And it's going to ask you like your business name, a phone number if you have one, a website, you can put your booking site, whatever you want. And then they'll either approve you right away or they may mail you a little card and it'll have a code in it. They're basically just attempting to verify that you didn't lie about wherever you're working. And like you're not taking someone else's business. So if you're in your friend's shop, it'll come there. And that's fine. You'll get it in like 2 days. And then you open it, you log in, you put the code in, and then you're all set up. So going forward, if someone's searching for you, they can find you on maps. But also if you get reviews, they can put them there. And the nice thing about Google reviews is they're super public. And again, someone can find them they don't even know who you are. They just happen to find you and stumbled upon you, which is nice. And it helps your search engine rankings. Whereas Facebook, Vagaro, that doesn't really help you every time somebody leaves you a review. This will. So you can do all of them, but I would really encourage you to do the Google because it only takes a few minutes and it's free.
And it's Google My Business?
Yep. So literally you go to Google and you type in Google My Business, and then it'll take you to where you can log in and make your own profile. If you need help, let me know, but it's so easy.
Okay, cool.
So I would do that. And then if you could do that now while you're working on this, you'll kind of knock that out and then you'll have a place. You can send them the link and say, here's where I want you to go. Leave me my review. So that's good. Okay. So 5 to 10 people, you're going to get 5 pieces of content from them. And because they're models, you might get some pictures of them while they're healing, and make sure they come back. That's the nice thing. Hopefully, if they're not just complete jerks and you're doing it for free or costs, they will agree to come back. I mean, I don't even know with the plasma pen, maybe you can see results 2 weeks and 4 weeks and it gets better, but maybe you can start getting more pictures to share now. So 5 pieces of content, they're each going to leave you a review. I like to ask for a selfie or two, especially for brow stuff, because the pictures we take in our studios are super produced and, the lighting. And I think people like to see real people that look like them getting it done.
Okay.
And all of this is all about social proof. So I always give this example of me at a restaurant in Miami because this is exactly what social proof is all about. So there's a whole phenomenon in psychology where people want to do what everyone else is doing. And if they think everybody else is coming to you, or they think their friends or like people who are just like them are doing it too, they'll want to come. So that's why reviews are so important, to businesses. I think about me, like when I go on Amazon, if you have the most amazing product for cheap, if you don't have any reviews, I'm not buying it. Like, it doesn't matter how cheap you make it. I don't believe you. So this is the same kind of thing. But anyway, we were in Miami in South Beach, my husband and I, and we knew where we were going to go eat. We heard about it. We looked it up. We were walking, and then we had to stop at this stoplight, and I kind of looked down this back alley, and like a block away, there was this like random hole in the wall restaurant, and it was like a sandwich counter. So they had like outside stools, and then like a window, and the workers were inside making the food. And every stool, there were like 25, 30 stools, all full of people. And there was like a line, people all around just waiting to like sit down and eat. And we like both looked at each other. I don't even know. It had like a French name. I think it's called like Sandwichery, something like that. Anyway, we looked at each other and we're like, we're going there. I don't even know what they make. It just must be amazing because people would not be sitting there. But that's what reviews and content's about. If you post several times a week, and you post every other day, even if it's somebody you posted before, people are like, oh my gosh, she must be good. And the opposite's true. If you don't post often because you don't have any content, or you're afraid to share old content, people just think you're not popular. Like, oh, no one's going to her. She must not be good at what she does, which is obviously not true, but that's what people think. So that's kind of the idea behind this. And if you do them for free or cost, then you just make sure that they come back so you can get lots of pictures, stuff like that. And then hopefully you get some residual business from just, referrals and word of mouth. But that's what I do anytime I'm trying to launch a new service, start a new employee, and it always works. Always. Especially because I don't even have to coach you on pictures. You do a good job with your pictures. So you're good to go there.
Yeah. I have a light and a new one, so I'm saving for my ring light again.
Yes. Yeah. The one that I love is like $80, $90 on Amazon.
New year.
Yeah. I used to have Glamcore lights and they were like $300. I had the like multimedia one. It was like $350 a piece. And then I bought these and these were like way brighter. So
yeah.
Win-win. Yeah.
Yeah. Those ones are good.
So yeah, I think that you should consider doing that. Google reviews will help you, period. So every time somebody comes in, you should just ask them to leave you a review, even if it's referrals from the nail shop, because those are huge. If people can't find reviews, they just don't know if they can trust you. Yeah. And you're competing against maybe people like spas that names that they know. So definitely repost your content. Definitely do the model call. And I think that I looked at your work. I think you're doing a great job. Let me go back and look at your.
Oh God, don't go too far because those brows are.
I do. I just think you should share more. Even if it means that you have to do a couple models, or even if it means that you have to repost content. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you still, for example, some of the posts that you have, do you still have other photos from that same person, or do you think you just have the post that you made?
I have hundreds of thousands of photos.
Okay, so I'm looking at a girl from March 9th. It's an amazing before and after. It looks like you did a wax and tint. And this is just her right eyebrow. Why not dig back in the picture and find the left eyebrow and post the before and after of her left eyebrow? Or if you took a full face picture, I would repost that for sure. And then let's see, I would use hashtags if you're not. And
I just started. I have some saved in my notes, but I have 1 million and they will only let me post 20 or 30 or something.
Yeah, once you figure it out, you can save it as a note. But I've done that so many times, and I've made a post and it had one too many hashtags, and then Instagram, my whole caption went away. And then I'm like, oh, that was a great caption.
So speaking of captions, I feel like that's one of my deterrents on posting often, is because I'm like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I agree. I hear that all the time too. And sometimes I just get like writer's block or whatever, and I don't know what to come up with. But what I tell people to do is stick to find a way that you can offer value. So how can you offer value to the people who are following you, whether it's a potential customer, maybe it's another esthetician who's learning from what you're doing, they're new, or a new permanent makeup artist. Anything you can share, if it adds value to people's lives, they'll follow you, they'll engage. They're not going to be turned off by what you're sharing. So I saw really good advice. I can't think of this lady's name. She's not in the permanent makeup or the beauty world, but she said to treat social media like a cocktail party, which, I'm 33. I don't know how old you have to be to a cocktail party. Go to a cocktail party. I've never been to one, but like a party. So like you would not walk in the room and barely say hello and just tell everyone what you do. This is what I do. Look what I did today. Look how I did. Look at this. Have you heard about what I do? You would engage with people. Like you would talk to them. Maybe some of the stuff you would share would be asking them questions. You would try to offer some kind of value to the conversation other than just talk about yourself. So we have to make sure that on social media, we're doing that. We can't just spam people, basically. And that has ramifications outside of just people liking your account. Instagram knows when you share, and don't engage. And when you share stuff and nobody ever comments, which that's like super hard to get people to comment, but it's like our goal. We need them to engage. So they just treat you like a spam account. And what happens is they think that your followers are not interested in you and they will not show them your content. So they no longer show us the stuff that goes in order. Like, I wish they would. I follow so many people and I never see their stuff because I don't engage with them enough. And then Instagram just decides not to show it to me. So if you can start to share things that require engagement or offer things that are valuable, you're going to see an increase in engagement and followers and customers. Obviously, followers is the first step to getting customers. Don't worry about likes because I think Instagram's getting rid of them. And likes don't always translate to sales. So I could care less. If I have 10 likes but 5 people booked, great. So I think with social media, when you're writing your captions, start to think about that. So what I started to do is I would write kind of columns, like silos of like, what are the types of things I would post? One would be like educational. And I'll write this down. I have a YouTube video and it's like, I forget, like, I don't know, a list of 5 to 10 things that you should talk about on your social. So at least it gives you, let me write that down. I have ADD, I'll forget. Content ideas. So at least you have something like some direction, but I would think of things like educational content. So that could be like, maybe I posted before and after, but let me tell you all about what a lip flip is. I don't even know what that is. So when you show me an amazing before and after, I appreciate that, but I might just keep scrolling because I have no idea what this can do for me. If it's a wax intent, maybe instead of just posting the before and after and talking about how pretty she is or that I have an opening next week, maybe I'll talk about how I reshaped her eyebrow and how you can do the same thing. Let me know, have you ever tried this tip? Here's where your arches should be and here's why. Just something so that you're not only just dumping, content. For sure. And I think it's normal in our industry to copy what other people are doing that are successful because we think that that's what they're doing. We just don't see what they're doing behind the scenes. A lot of people that just post before and afters are paying for ads and doing all kinds of other marketing, like email marketing and stuff. So it doesn't always work if that's all you share, basically. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I did
try your tip from the engagement from videos versus photos. I was blown away. I posted a video of an extraction, like a big blackhead extraction.
People love that.
Like 12,000 people. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's amazing.
I posted a photo just to kind of test both the theory.
Yes.
And it was like maybe 180.
Yeah.
So I was, okay. So I'm trying to get more video. It's just, like
that's another one of the content plans. One of the content items. If I'm getting 5 per person, one of them could just be a video of something that I'm doing, and you just need a stand or somebody, or even your client can hold the phone, anything, until you have like the ring lights come with a little phone holder. So when you get that, you'll be golden. But people love that stuff. And it's not even about the quality of the video. You don't need this HD camera with like bright lights. People don't even care. They just like want the actual content to be good. And then besides the fact that they think it's cool, you stand out because other people aren't doing it. So they stopped because they're like, well, this is interesting. But Instagram, that one of the reasons that you saw that was because Instagram's like, ooh, look, she's posting a video. This is better. Let's show this to more people. As opposed to the person who's trying, like you, me too. I'll post picture, picture, picture. Nobody cares. And then I think that video we posted of the brow lamination, I mean, I just seen your blackhead. Oh my God. That's so satisfying.
I know.
People love that stuff.
Here, so it's like, yeah, I'll do this for free.
Yes, right? Everyone come here so I can record video. Yeah, you got like 30 comments on there. That's awesome.
It was crazy. And I tried to engage with everybody that did, even if they were like barfing, you know. So.
Yeah, I know. You do get some, whenever you get a video that gets a lot of views, then you get the random like annoying comments and you're like, oh yeah, I'll be nice to you because I want people to see my videos, but you're rude. But no, I think you should do more of that. And the plasma pen especially, one thing I know about customers is that, and women, like if they don't know, they're afraid. Even if they think it'd be amazing, it's the fear of the unknown. So reviews and referrals help significantly with that, because if my best friend tells me I have to do it, okay, fine, I'll do it. But videos, I don't have to be afraid, because you know what I think when I think of the plasma pen, my first thought is like, I'm going to get burnt. Like it's like a laser. It's going to hurt so bad and I'm going to have scars and it's too scary. Like it might be worth it, but I'm too afraid. But if you showed me just a couple videos of how it worked, oh my God, I'd be like, okay, I understand. So I think having, doing that with some of your models would be nice for sure.
Okay.
Even most of the videos or almost all the videos I share, like on YouTube, I just do them with my iPhone. So you don't need this amazing software to come up with a quick video. What kind of phone do you have? Are you taking pictures with your phone or a camera?
Yeah, with my phone. It's a 7 Plus.
And then iMovie's free.
Is that what you use
What'd you say?
Is that what you use to cut?
Yeah. I have like one or two videos.
Like what?
Yeah. I have a couple of videos that my husband helped me with on Final Cut Pro, but it's way too advanced for me. Like it's cool and everything, but I don't need that. And people don't care. They appreciate the content, like the value. So I just use iMovie on my phone. It's free. And I already have the content on my phone, so I don't have to send it anywhere. Most of the time I'm just putting it on social media, which is also on my phone. So you don't need anything fancy. And that just takes like a glass of wine and an hour or two of getting annoyed because you're trying to figure it out. And then once you figure it out, you know, it's over. You don't have to struggle. At first, the first few videos, you're like, this is so hard. But, oh my God, if you did videos of that and facials, like any facial, like this picture that you posted, when was this? Last week, of the little nose pops from a nose wax.
Oh yeah.
That's like, so, I mean, if nothing else, I'm at least going to stop and see what this is and read about it. So that anything you share, we should be trying to stop them from going somewhere else. So I thought that was genius. I think more stuff like that would be amazing, for sure.
I've noticed that people really like the gnarly, gross stuff. So I've been trying to get a lot of that.
Anything weird, like I have a new brow lamination video I'm going to post, and I'm going to make the cover. You know how you can pick the cover on a video? Instagram lets you pick what shot from the video you want to show up on Instagram. Do you know that?
No.
Okay, so if you just keep going, it'll like it'll just pick one for you, which is like the first frame. But if you post, there'll be, I'm trying to think what's at the bottom. It'll be like edit, trim, and then I think it says cover. And then it'll let you scroll your finger across the video. So I'll pick a frame that looks weird. So this lamination one, I'm probably going to pick the one where her brows look super straight and crazy as the cover, and hopefully people will be like, ew, that's ugly, and click it. And then they'll watch the video. So I think you're onto something with these kind of like unique, like weird looking pictures and stuff, because that's the whole goal, is just to get people to look.
Yeah.
You got a good amount of followers too. So that's good.
Yeah, I just hit 1,000 a couple months ago, and now I'm kind of like stuck. But you know, I about the followers and things. It's the engagement mainly. If I could just translate all of the clients, that'd be fantastic.
I know. I think what you're doing is good. More content the reviews. And then I know you might have some questions before we go, but I did want to talk about this. Right now you just have your website is basically your booking site, right? Vagaro.
I have a friend working on the website for me. I don't have just the extra cash for.
Yeah, me either. So when I first started, I just made my own. So if that's in the works, keep going with it by all means. But you can make a really good, solid, might not be the best website you ever saw, but you can make a solid website that you can start to grow a following on and get a lot of clicks just with a basic website builder. So I think the first one I had was Weebly. And then the one my website's currently on, which in 2020, I got to move to something else, but I'm currently on Wix. So they're all meant for people who aren't experts to make. So, and it's cheap. Everybody thinks it costs thousands of dollars to make maybe a custom website, but for a standard one on Wix or Weebly, I think you might pay $10 a year or every 2 years for your domain. And then like $20 a month for your hosting. And then they have all the templates. You just use them and put your information in. And then you got tons of pictures to post. So you could make a really solid website for $20 a month. So eventually, if the custom website that you're having somebody work on is going to be like way down the road, I'd consider making your own and then seeing where that goes. The nice thing about them is you can log in and you can play with it for free. And then it'll have like their branding all over it, which is fine. You can see if you even like what you're doing. And then if you're like, oh, this is going somewhere good, then you can buy it. And then that'll get rid of like their weird, advertising all over your website. But whenever someone tells me I'm struggling with clients, usually the first thing that I ask is what's their website look like? And then most people say, well, I don't have one. Well, that's the first problem we have to solve, ultimately, is because people, as much as social media is amazing, as much engagement, I had to learn this a year ago. As much as I thought all my clients were coming from Instagram, they weren't. Like way, way, way more people search terms relevant to your business on the internet than they do on social media. They might eventually get to your social media, maybe on your website or through word of mouth, but way more people are looking for someone to wax their eyebrows in your area on the internet than they are on social. So if you don't have a website, you're just missing them. They're going somewhere else. So eventually that's something I would make a goal for sure. And especially because you can start working on it for free. You might as well. Yeah, for sure. What do you think about
that? No, I think it's a great idea. I've just got to get the income in too. Yeah. I know $20 a month doesn't sound, and you're a business owner, so it doesn't sound like a huge amount, but without the cash flow. It does
because you have other things that you have to worry about for sure. So I think that's something to think about, down the road. It doesn't have to be done right away, but that will make it will make
then it kind of, negates itself. So
mm-hmm. Exactly. If you think that your website could bring you in 1 or 2 clients, there's that. So
yeah, the pays for it.
But the whole like playing around with it and making it is free. Like they don't charge you anything to log in, pick a simple template and play around with it. They just won't let you make your own domain and they won't take their ads off of it. It'll just say powered by Wix all over it, which no one's going to see it yet because you're just playing with it. And then at least you might as well finish it and get it ready. So when you do feel like you're prepared to do that, it's already ready to go. And then you can start sharing it with people.
Okay, cool.
At least it gives you a chance to try. And then if you're like, screw this is awful. Well, then you just hire somebody else down the road. But that's the biggest thing. I want to touch on a couple. Let's see, you had a couple other things in here that you mentioned, and I want to make sure that I don't skip anything. While I'm pulling your message back up, is there anything else that you want to talk about or questions that you have about what we talked about?
How many hours a day or week are you working on your content planning?
Honestly, way too much, but a lot. Yeah. I say I enjoy it. So that is my weakness, is that I really like social media and I like marketing and making stuff. It's kind of the reason why I like eyebrows and lips, is I like seeing before and afters, and I get real satisfaction when my feed looks nice on Instagram. And but I use the scheduler. So if you don't do that, once you go through your content and you've got a lot of it, you're going to be reposting and new stuff. I use Buffer. So I try to do it every Sunday. And I talk a lot about on my Instagram strategy Sundays. So I try to sit down at least for an hour every Sunday to come up with brainstorming ideas to grow my business, but also to set up my posts for the week. So then I'll go and Buffer and I'll schedule, like, what are my 2 posts for Monday? Oh, okay, Wednesday's Woman Crush Wednesday. Do I want something for that? And I'll just, lay that out, and I'll type my captions then. So it only requires me to be creative for like an hour, as opposed to every day I'm like, oh, I have a new post, but like, I don't know what to say. So I'll just do it all at once and get it over with. I'm usually really tired when that hour is over, but then it's done. So I need an hour a week. I spend more time in the other things. So liking, commenting, engaging with people to help them see my content, to actually like grow with them. I spend probably like 30 minutes a day doing that. But it's nice because it's like 30 minutes in bed, before I fall asleep, or, 30 minutes, I have 10 minutes a client of numbing. So I might spend a few minutes just interacting with people on social media. So if you could do that, maybe you're going to post, pick a set time. And if you set up like that video that you did, what if you 15 to 30 minutes before or after you post that, if you start liking, commenting, engaging on Instagram not only thinks that content's cool, but it's like, oh, and she's active and people are responding back to her. This is good. Let's promote it. So if you could strategize and plan your interactions around when you share content, you'll see more engagement from that too.
Okay.
But I spend a lot of time. I think a lot of people do, because it's hard. And I've tried to hire someone and I didn't like it. They just didn't get my vibe, and vice versa. So, and especially in the beginning, I did everything because I think, financially you're like, I can't afford to I need to do everything because I can't afford it. And eventually, delegate. But again, I don't recommend social media ads. If you don't have a website that has tons of reviews on it with all of your pictures and your pricing, what's the point of an ad? And you can probably get the same amount of exposure if you use hashtags on Instagram. So if you are running ads or you're thinking about it, I would encourage you, instead of devoting your money to that, devoting your money and energy to some of this other stuff first, so that you could get in front of 10,000 people. But if they get to wherever they land, like your Vergaro page, and like, cool, this is booking. Who is she? What does she do? What does her work look like? If they can't be convinced, none of them book. So you just wasted your money, basically. Yeah. So ads are just, I don't even like social media ads, period. I know they have a place, but I don't use them very often because they don't really help me with my search engine rankings. So when it does come time to do ads, I think Google is a much better option. It's just very expensive. So I didn't probably run a Google ad for 2 years. The first 2 years, it was everything else that I could afford, and it was easier. And I knew I could figure out social media. So you don't need Google ads yet. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
If that's kind of something that's on your mind. I did want to ask you, you mentioned that you were thinking about passive income.
Yeah.
So if that's a goal for you, what does that look like for you? Or do you have, questions for me on how you can get to that point?
I'm dancing around the idea of like a tangible product or some type of education, come in, or something online. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of some options for a plan B, because I'm older. I'm 39, and
you look so young. Not that 39 is old, but I mean, you look like a baby.
Yeah, so I'm like, do I want to be doing treatments when I'm 50? I don't necessarily know that I do. So, I've been kind of tap dancing around the idea, trying to think of some different ideas. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say that it's oversaturated with people like pushing stuff out, but I don't know if it's just that I get discouraged with certain things, and I'm like, oh, well, everybody's already doing this, so, why would they do this for me?
That's normal human reaction, but you have something to offer. I always tell people, like, walk down the grocery store and look at like the number of toothpaste we have to choose from, or like bread. Like there's 3,000. Like, so there is always room for whatever you have to offer the world. You just want to figure out what makes you happy. And the answer is always, what's a problem that people have? How can I solve it? Because if I can offer them value, then they'll like it, they'll buy it. And I'll always be able to make money as long as I can offer value to someone. So I think it's good that you started thinking about passive income. About a year and a half ago, I was in the same space because I was working all the time. So as much as I love my clients and I love, I was booked out like 6 months, which it's at first is the biggest goal. And I was so happy when I reached it, but then I was exhausted. And then I also realized, well, when I don't work, I don't make any money. So if I go on vacation for a month to travel the world because I'm wanting to spend time with my family, my whole income is gone for that time frame. So I started thinking, well, that's not good. Or what if something happens to me and I don't know, what if I break my hand? So I started thinking about that. So that's probably more like 2 years ago. And that's where I trained and hired our first artists so that they could work with me. And I thought, well, numbers wise, I've got to be losing some people because they can't get in with me. So I've had plenty of people tell me like 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, even, I can't wait that long, and they'll just go somewhere else. So I figured, well, I might as well have somebody come in and work with me, and then they'll take them and I'll at least be able to help somebody else make money. And then I'll receive part of their income basically as my income. And then, next came training, which isn't exactly passive income, but the same thing has happened to me now. So I've walked back taking clients. Now I only take clients once a day or once a week. And that works for me. But all the other girls at the other locations are really, really busy. It gives me more time to concentrate on that. So you should start thinking about it. It might take a long time to come to fruition, but I guarantee you it will fly by. The last year or two has flown by for me. So education is huge because I feel like, I don't know, I didn't go to aesthetics or cosmetology school, but from everybody that I talked to, you kind of go to school and then you leave. Yeah.
You get your license and you go.
Yeah. And then like they taught you like, okay, you know how to do a facial, but like there's way more things that are out here that they didn't teach you because they're like considered advanced, topics, and you have to pay for all of it and you got to figure it out. Or like, I didn't know, some people like they teach you to wax, but some schools don't teach you Brazilians, or like some schools don't teach you the first time you do a nose wax might be on your own. So I think there's this huge market for people, and you do so many things well. There's this whole market for people who maybe are good at what they do, and maybe they just do simple, regular facials or regular, I don't know, simple waxes because they don't know anything else. But you could potentially teach them those advanced skills. I'm asked like all the time. People will be like, do you do a wax class? And I'm like, why? Like, didn't you go to cosmetology? Didn't you learn that when you were in school? And they're like, yeah, but not how to shape an eyebrow. Like they just showed me how to like turn the wax on. And like, I know about skin, but like I know. So I think there's this huge market for that. And that's something that you could teach people locally in your area or online. Those are people are always looking for ways to like advance their career. The same way you've invested so much in those things, people need help with that. So I would at least spend a little bit of time, maybe in the next couple of weeks thinking about education. It's not as hard as you think. You just have to basically write your curriculum. So the hardest part about that, to be honest, is that it's up here in your head and putting it on paper. So It takes a while at first, but once you do it, you don't have to do it again. So you'd be surprised how many people, maybe you wouldn't be, but how many people, if you offer to teach them something you do, would be like, oh, I'm interested. And it can start small. My very first class had 2 people. I still don't even really know why they trusted me because I had no students before. And one was from New York and one was from like a small town in Ohio, like literally New York City. I don't even know how she found me. It was just like, I don't know. Thank God for them. But like, it was this huge ordeal. And we taught them in the salon with these like banquet tables, like fold up tables. I didn't even have like a tablecloth on it or anything. Looking back on it, I'm like, oh my God, that was like the most terrible class ever. But you just grow. It starts small and then you just keep at it and be consistent and it will grow. The same thing for your social, same thing for everything. Everything you're doing will grow. You just have to not quit. And then do the smart things like strategy. This stuff is important. So my goal at the end of a strategy session, whether I'm doing it by myself on Sunday mornings or I'm talking to someone, or if I have a coach and I'm talking to them, the goal is that you don't have all the answers when you're done. Honestly, sometimes when I'm done, I'm like, good night, I'm going to bed, because it was so taxing on my brain, thinking about it. But the goal is that you have a bunch of stuff written down or in your head that you're going to go think about and like start working on. So hopefully this call will trigger some of that for you. You got some ideas, you got this like model plan that you can go put in place and start working on. You can start working on your Google review listing page. That's huge. That's free. So you can do that. Every time somebody comes in, record it and photograph it as much as possible so that you can keep working on your content. That will pay off, even if it's not right away. In 6 months, if you have a better website, all this stuff, they'll have something to look back on. They can scroll for days at all of your content. So those things would be huge. The plasma thing, you need healed pictures. So the sooner, whatever way we can find a way to get that. And then more and more videos. I focus on that too.
Can I ask you, what do you find the best way to keep your branding cohesive? I've tried using Canva, and then I don't know. I get lost in all like the fun stuff. And
I have a branding worksheet I'll send you. I made it on Canva, of course, because I make everything on Canva. But it's something to start thinking about. Here's what I would do. This is really weird. It's going to sound weird when I tell you. And then the first time you do it, it's going to take you like a week or so to like really do this because it's a weird thing to do. But let's assign, we're going to complete something called a customer persona. So what a customer persona, and it's not, this is something that huge corporations do all the time, but it helps you isolate who you're talking to and how you talk to them. So that's all about brand. That's what brand cohesion is. If you try to talk to everybody, you will just blend in with everybody else and you won't be special to anyone. So if you instead try to think about who your target, your ideal customer is for what you offer, and you start talking to them specifically, they will feel like you are the person for them. Like they have to come to you. Everybody else can come to you, but you have to have like an identity. So what you're going to do is create a customer persona. If you need help with this, I'll give you some basic tips, but if you Google customer persona, you might even be able to find a template and then just articles about it. Honestly, having gaps when you're new is such a blessing because it does give you time. You have time right now to spend doing this stuff while you're building and stuff. So, but anyway, I thought that was like a thunderstorm, and then I was about to be like, that's weird because it's October. It was just a motorcycle. So what you're going to do is you're going to assign your customer a name. You're going to think about what she looks like. You're going to give her an age. And so when someone first talked to me about this, I was like, what? How do I do that? Because my customers are 30, they're 50. How do I do that? You got to pick who you're talking to in a very specific list. And you're going to give her a name. It's just for practice. So she's going to have a name. She's going to have an age. Is she a mom? What's her profession? Where does she eat? What does she like to wear? And Pinterest is good for this. It will help you to pin kind of who's your person, who's your target client. And then you can go through every other day, check on it and weed out the stuff that doesn't seem to go together. But I guarantee you, if you start doing that, you'll start to have this brand identity on accident because it's in your brain. So I found like when I would pin stuff, it was very like pink and soft and girly versus maybe somebody else who is pinning pictures that represent their business that would be like black and maybe more modern, edgy. Already you're starting to find things that you like, and that's the best place to start. What do you like? If you like it and you're into it, you'll be able to build it basically instead of trying to build somebody else's mission. So you're going to create a customer persona, write down her name, what she does, everything about her. And then everything you want your business to represent. So the worksheet that I send you will ask you to kind of create a mission statement and like a value statement. So the first time you do that is also weird. So the whole point of these things is just start and keep working on it. Where Canva comes in, that's pretty easy because you can set colors and fonts. So on the branding worksheet I'm going to send you, it asks some questions like, what do you want your voice to be? How do you want people to feel when they think about you? The CEO of Amazon, he said basically branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So if somebody asked about your business, what do they think? I hope that when people think about my business, they think about female empowerment. I hope that they think of things that have to do with women being confident and then just kind of like women supporting each other because that's kind of what I'm all about. I hope so. But that takes a little bit of time to build, but there's something that you're passionate about and there's a certain kind of customer you want to have. And if you start building this stuff out, that's the best way to start being cohesive with this. So branding worksheet I'll send to you, Google customer persona, so you can start thinking about how to make your own. And then, for example, if my voice is going to be like playful and lighthearted, the colors I pick might be softer. Maybe they're more cartoonish. Maybe the font that I choose is really like handwritten font. Maybe if I wanted a brand that was, let's say, really elegant and sophisticated, maybe my font's more cursive or more formal font. And maybe my colors are more standard, like black and white, and things that you think of when you like elegant. So that's your first goal. And then you're going to want to try to move everything in that direction. So if you end up with a very edgy, that's like, oh, that's my thing. I'm real into like unique stuff. I don't know, maybe I like tattoos and piercings. I wear black all the time. Your brand might start to reflect that, and that would change what you say and how you feel on social media and on your website. So I know that's a very abstract answer, but it's because you're in the beginning stages. So if you already had a customer persona or you already have a little bit of a branding put together, we could kind of pick it apart and see where we could tweak it. But I think that's the best place to start. And then you have like a notebook or somewhere where you can just put all this stuff down so you can keep track of it. Otherwise you go crazy like I do. It's in my head and I need to do better about writing it down. But does that make kind of a little sense?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to do that actually.
Good. It's fun. At first it's weird, when you're like, I don't even know how to answer this question, but after a while it's fun.
Well, when you said what's her name, I actually had somebody pop into my head immediately. So
truly, especially because you already have clients. So think about your favorite clients, or you might already just law of attraction. You might already have a group of people and they're kind of similar. Those people are the ones you should be kind of building, and hopefully they're good clients. Your favorite clients, the ones who kind of fit in with what you do. That's your customer persona right there.
Cool.
Makes sense?
Yes.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited about it.
It's flew by.
Can I ask an off-topic question? I noticed that you guys got a new hydroderma abrasion machine.
Yeah.
Where did you get yours?
The Instagram, Z-Mits, is that what you said? Yeah. Yes. The Instagram, I think it's advanced.aesthetic is their Instagram. I love their Instagram, by the way. They have great stuff. I love it. I like it a lot. I was following a girl in Washington. I can't think of what her Instagram name is, but she's an adorable spa. And she talked about it. I think it was in a video. So then I looked it up and it was not cheap. They do offer financing, a couple different options. And people have been all about it. Like people love it. And I do. It's instant results. A lot of facials, you don't have that because, like, let's be honest, you can't reverse stuff in one appointment. And you can't with this. But because of the hydrating part and the plumping, like the suction, there's like this instant plump and glow. So I find that it's easier to talk to people about coming back for treatments because they can see something right away. So I'm like, this is going to go away. It's not going to like make you lose 10 years overnight, but at least they feel like they got something for what they paid. And it works really well. I think it's well made. It's a good company. They offer training.
I did hydrofacials at the med spa and I loved them. And I have several clients that have reached out and they're like, are you getting a hydrofacial machine? And I'm like, I don't have $36,000. So
I was going to say, I was like, $40,000 is a lot.
I bought a kind of like a knockoff. It's very like, Alibaba style machine. And I'm not a fan. So I was looking at the first one and I'm like, oh, maybe. So
they have two, and one's like a hydrofacially looking, almost looks like the same with a computer. I mean, even that one's like $15,000. So I don't have that one. I think it depends. What'd you say?
Is it a top one?
Yeah, it's I think theirs is called it's hydro something. There are only two. They only have two.
It's like it's something.
Yes, it has an oxygen attachment, which is really nice. And it's unique and different from what other people offer. I really like it. So if you ever have questions about it, you're really on the fence about getting it. I know that you're in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
They have 2 to 3 showrooms. I know one's in Miami, but for some reason I'm thinking if it's not in Vegas, I know they're there for shows all the time. You might be able to go and see one in person, but it's nice. It's simple to use. It's affordable to do the treatment. like their attachments, the tips you can reuse. So you have to sterilize them. But like hydrofacials, I'm pretty sure you throw those away.
Those are unreal.
Yeah, everything's
Unreal.
so
It costs like almost $50 to turn that machine on.
yeah, it's insane. This is nice. They have their own serums, but you can use other serums. So you're not. I like that you're not locked in to use whatever they say. You can find what you like and use it, which is the game. I mean, that's the name of the game. I want to be able to use what I think works. So you should totally look into it.
I have it on my list of things, and I was like, oh well, let's. I mean, I know you. I thought that that's the one that you had, so I was going to ask your opinion before I.
It's nice. I recommended it to someone else too. I think one of my friends is going to get it, and I was like, "Listen, you'll pay it back. It takes some time, but you'll pay it back eventually." So that would definitely keep that on the list.
Cool.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else you wanted to chat about before we go?
I think I'm just looking in my. I think we honestly covered everything.
Okay, good. We covered a lot.
We did, and I'm
my goal is that you have like a long list of stuff and ideas, and then hopefully, like I said, it continues when you hang up today, tomorrow, the next day. You kind of start thinking about this, but these things are good, even if you have to have them by yourself. Then you do. You just kind of sit around, you write notes, and it'd be nice sometimes if you have a friend or anybody who will listen, even if they're not on the same track as you as far as entrepreneurship, just so they can say something back to you like, oh, don't do that. That sounds dumb. Sometimes you just need someone who's like got different set of eyes to look at stuff. I'm always happy to answer questions like on Instagram. So if you comment, or YouTube, if I post a video and you got questions, just comment there. What will happen with these calls? So I want to do, I posted for 2. I'm going to try to do like 5. And then just so people get an understanding on like what a strategy call really is and why you need to think about strategy. And then when we launch our online program at the middle to end of November, basically what will happen is you log in, you get access to all the classes, but we'll do these video calls except as a group. So each week will be a different topic, but it'll be training, but usually like strategy training, maybe some technique, but mostly strategy training. And then we'll do like hot seating like this as part of the call. So there'll be at least one person that's on the call doing this, where we're having this kind of like back and forth. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think people will, that person gets help, but then everybody else learns from it. I always find, I don't know if you're on YouTube much, but Gary Vee on YouTube
I've listened to his podcast.
Thousands of like all these videos, and I've learned so much just listening to him talk to other people about their business and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this was really helpful. So I think we need to do more of it in our industry for sure.
Totally. It's so ridiculous. I have people that DM me asking questions, and I will give them an answer, and they're like, oh my God, thank you for like telling me where you bought that mask. And I'm like, okay, like I don't own the market on jelly masks.
Yes, I didn't make that mask, and it's not going to affect me if I tell you where I got it from.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I don't understand.
I think more and more people, if we put that out there and we're about that, and that's kind of our community, then more and more people will start to do it. I think it's good for the industry overall.
For sure. You're doing an amazing thing.
Well, thank you. I'm really glad we got to chat. I feel like we're friends now, so we are. Well, good. I hope this stuff helps you. I'm going to send you I have 2 things I think I'm sending you, so I'll do that tonight or tomorrow, and just let me know if you have questions on it, and then I'll follow up with you. Hopefully, like this stuff helps, and then you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. Perfect. Well, I think that's good then.
Okay, good. All right. Well, if you think of anything else, let me know, and then hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
All right. It was so nice to meet you.
You too. Bye. I'm glad we got through our technical difficulties.
Oh, yes.
Bye.
Bye.